Nagito's secret Freetime event. Hehe. Hypnosis. Non-killing game Ultimate Universe. Nagito and Reader's first date. Also, the Reader is the ultimate lyricist. Warnings. Spoilers for Avengers 2012. Mentions of tragic accident, hospitalization, and badly written TBH. The buttery fresh smell of popcorn filled the room as you sat yourself down in front of the TV and next to the one and only Nagito Komaeda. He turns to you and smiles gently as you sink down into the plush couch.
I'm so lucky that you invited me here. This will definitely make up for all the bad luck later.
He seems to say that more to himself than you as he wraps his arms around himself and looks down. You offer nothing in return but take the remote in your hand and flick through the movie selection. Silently, you hover over Avengers and turn your gaze to Nagito, who shows no emotion but his trademark soft smile. Assuming he was fine with it, you selected the movie and leaned back, offering the popcorn to Nagito. He finally looks at you, and for a second his expression was one of shock, but turns quickly into one of sincerity.
Are you offering this to me as well? I'm so grateful. I'll gladly take anything you have to give me.
Well, that was an odd response to being offered popcorn, but at least he didn't go into his weird self-degradations that led into a vicious cycle of you insisting he was wrong, but him continuing his musing nevertheless. You watched the movie in silence for a good amount of time before finally Nagito peeked up.
Does Loki really think his hope could ever compare?
Oh no. His weird ramblings of hope had finally begun, but to your surprise he didn't elaborate. He just stuffed his face with more popcorn and went back to enjoying the movie. Neither of you spoke again for a while until the scene where Loki breaks out of the Hellcarrier. Nagito clapped his hands together and said,
Incredible. To use such despair to break through weak hope, only to later be used as a stepping ladder for a greater hope. Loki is just like me.
You chuckled weakly and looked at him, expecting there to be some telltale sign that it was just a joke. But it wasn't. He really meant it.
Hey, Nagito, I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, Loki doesn't care about that stuff. He only...
You stopped your rambling as Nagito turned to you with an expression you hadn't seen before. He quirred his eyebrows up and tipped his head back, looking down at you with a condescending expression.
Huh?
Well, I'm just saying.
What did you just say?
He leaned in closer to physically hover above you, and in turn you sunk down further into the couch cushions. He moved closer and closer till he was just in front of your face, your noses almost brushing. Your breathing stopped, and you could swear he could hear your heart race.
Kidding.
His expression softened, and he leaned away. You bolt up.
Nagito, you really scared me!
He chuckled softly and looked away.
I know. I'm sorry. Trash like me has no right to play a prank like that on someone like you.
He looked back to you.
But even so, I really wanted to see how you'd react.
He smiles at you so sweetly, and you had to look away and hide your blush. You swear it was so sweet that someone with diabetes would just die if they witnessed it. You cuddle a couch cushion close to your chest and pout, purposely ignoring him and continuing to watch the movie. Eventually, the movie came to a close and you switched it off. Turning your head to him, you were about to ask him his opinion, but you were surprised he was already looking at you with shining eyes. He began to speak.
Thank you for showing this to me. It was just to my liking. I have no doubt that it was my luck that guided your choice.
He paused for a second and clasped your hand in his shyly.
The heroes overcoming despair. shining with hope for a better future is my favorite cliche because it reminds me of you. Well, not just you, but all the Ultimates. Just like superheroes, you were all chosen from birth to be the world's hope and to save us from the ultimate despair.
You smile back at him, but gently release your hands from his grasp.
I'm glad you think so highly of everyone, Nagito, but I don't think we deserve such high praise. I mean, it's not like we chose to become this way. We shouldn't be praised for being born with something. In fact, there's some who wish to never have had their talent in the first.
You were interrupted with a sharp pinch to your cheek.
Ow! What the hell?
You rub the affected area lightly and try to stop tearing up from the sharp pain.
Oh, no reason. I just thought it would be key.
He twirled his hair around his fingers and smirked. You huffed at him and he laughs, but somehow you don't believe his reasoning.
Are you lying to me, Nagito?
Who knows?
He busies himself looking around the room. You stare at him, trying to understand when it hit you. Maybe he didn't want to believe that there would be people who denied their hope, especially when he holds it as such high regard. You sigh, and he turns his attention back to you. Maybe it's best to forget about it for now.
Hey, Nagato, I'm writing a song. Would you like to hear it?
Immediately he perks up.
Wow, you, the ultimate lyricist, want someone like me to bear witness to your song? How could I say no?
You lead him to your room, where you bring out your guitar and lyrics. He looks at you the entire time with admiration. Settling down, you strum a few chords on your guitar to make sure the tuning's right.
This song's about my time at Oaks Peak Academy.
Nagito gave you a nod, and you began playing it to him. You sang softly to him, and he closed his eyes, focusing only on your voice and the things you were saying. Neither of you wanted this moment to end, as you sang and strummed the notes, and he went into a daze admiring your talent. But eventually, the song had to come to a close. As you finish the song, you look to him, waiting for his reaction. He slowly opens his eyes and says,
My least favorite song.
"Huh?"
Kidding, of course.
Nagito awkwardly smiles and puts his hands in front of his body defensively.
You really are gullible, huh? Even for an ultimate. ...
And soon after was the end of your first date with Nagito. It almost went exactly how you'd... It almost went exactly how you'd expected it. The next day, you got a call from a number you didn't recognize. You answered nonetheless.
Hello, is this your name?
Yeah, who's calling?
You have been registered as Nagito's emergency contact. Please come to Hope Peaks Hospital.
Nagito? Was in the hospital?
Bruh.
The person continued through your silence.
Please do not be worried. Mr. Komoeda has suffered minimal injuries compared to the others involved in the incident.
By the time you got to the hospital, it was already mid-morning. A helpful nurse directed you to Nagito's room, being patient through your panic and overall unhelpfulness. As she led you to Nagito's room, you rushed to his side.
Now, your name. No need to get worried about someone like me.
Nagito tried to calm you down.
It was only a minor accident, involving a tow truck, 3 monster cars, and 30 bunny rabbits.
You said nothing and continued to stare at him in despair. Nagito took your silence as an invitation to keep talking.
You mustn't worry so much about me, you know. I'll take all this bad luck for a specific reason.
He stopped and looked at you to make sure you were paying attention to what he was going to say next.
I'll take all this bad luck just so I can have the opportunity of having the good luck of being with you again.
And woo.